You know, this whole Oxford 15-minute city thing, it's kind of like a scene from a movie. I'm trying to think of the movie. It's,
Hey, what? Get out of here. Like this is still half empty. This shit reminds me of a bitch.
Now you just can't leave.
yeah, that's it. Welcome to the broadcast, everybody. Welcome to the Patriot Think Tank. I'm George Gavaris. Let's get into it. So we've got this 15-minute city concept that I want to cover with you. Really quick, keep this short. Just want to go over it where everything in the world that you could possibly need to live is within 15 minutes walking distance. Sounds crazy. Sounds almost euphoric. But there's a catch, and I'm going to get into it in just a second. I want to make sure everybody hits that subscribe button. Make sure you click that like button, follow button, depending on what platform you're watching us on. And you can support the channel now by sending stars to the channel through Facebook. No way to support us directly on YouTube or Rumble yet, but I'm working on monetizing YouTube, so let's see if we get there. Also, t-shirt store. If you like any of the gear that you see me wearing in these episodes, you can get some of your own just by going to www.thepatriotthinktank.com. We've got a link to our Etsy store right there on the front page. You can go in there and check out what we've got available. I'm adding new stuff all the time, so hopefully you can check that out. All right, well, let's get into this. So 15-minute cities. This concept is where they're basically taking a small bit of acreage, all right? And when I say small bit of acreage, I don't mean comparable to a home. I mean comparable to a major city. And they're basically going to plant all the resources you need to live within a 15-minute walking radius. So they'll be, 15 minutes from your house, ideally, there will be, and it's a 15-minute walk, will be a hospital or medical center. There will be a post office, a motor vehicles, a bakery, dining places, cafes, clothes shopping. Everything will be within 15 minutes of your home. The idea is to get people out to walk more and ride bikes more and do things like that, which on the face of it is not really creepy. It's actually kind of cool if you're still into living in those types of environments, in the urban type environment. That being said, what they're doing in Oxford is creepy. And what's concerning is what they're doing in Oxford is really the first true go at it that I can find. There's Paris, they were talking about it. They had someone there who ran on a platform for it, but it doesn't seem like they're nearly as advanced as Oxford is. There are some other places where they've been playing with this. I think there's a city in Utah, actually, that was playing with the idea, but they haven't actually done anything. They haven't actually moved forward with anything. They haven't actually passed any, resolutions or stuff. Oxford has. So the Oxfordshire County Council actually did move forward and vote on these proposals and is ready to begin. They're looking to launch in 2024. 2024 will be their target date, and they've already thought this through, and it sounds pretty abysmal. Now, here's the part they don't tell you. You're sectioned off in a 15-minute zone. 15 minutes from everything you need to live. However, if your buddy lives in the next 15-minute zone, well, if you drive to go see him, you'll be surveilled. You'll be surveilled, tagged for passing the zone. And I know that security camera surveillance in the UK is much looser than it is in the United States. It's much less of a big deal. I think London is completely covered with cameras. So there will be cameras there regardless, but they will know when you leave, come in, etc. And you need permission to do that. You need permission to leave your 15-minute area and go into someone else's 15-minute area. Now, they give, once you get permission, you get 100 times per year that you can do this. You can go back and forth and whatever. It sounds like that's not a lot. And frankly, it's not acceptable. I think they believed that they really had a voice in this, and then they just got disregarded, pushed to the side, and, moved on. I don't know if it's as clearly written as it is for us, but, I've seen them protest, so they certainly aren't shy about doing it. So I'm not particularly worried that they're not going to be able to do it. This would be something you'd want to get your foot down and let people know you oppose, because, just talking to them, and just having the conversations and stuff hasn't worked, right? They listened to them, they did these consultations, they're like, we're doing it anyway. And who supports this? Who's a big 15-minute city fan? The WEF. The WEF is a big 15-minute city fan. They writing their articles about, ooh, look how sticky the idea of 15-minute cities are. This isn't going away. Wow, yeah, this is still sticking around. This is not just a fad. This is for real. You could bet if they're telling you it's for real, it's for real. And sure enough, yeah, it's for real. Oxford is doing this. I mean, we'll see in 2024 how this whole thing plays out. But the idea of locking up, zones like that and not, it's like Hunger Games. It almost sounds like it's like creepy. Like if they wanted to divide the city in 6 sections and put all those amenities within 15 minutes of it, like there's nothing inherently wrong with that. It's when you restrict travel throughout those sections that it gets incredibly creepy. And that's the thing. When you hear this in the media or you read these articles, I had to look for a counter argument against 15-minute cities. Like everybody's articles that come up in Google, they were all, hey, guess what simple idea could save the planet?
We partnered with Google, for example. If you Google climate change, you will, at the top of your search, you will get all kinds of UN resources.
And I'm just reading them all. I'm like, okay, it's all the same thing. Where's the counterpoint? There's got to be a counterpoint. And I went to DuckDuckGo, and sure enough, we found the counterpoints. And there are plenty. What if you don't own the car? What if someone else is driving it? One person brought up, what if you have a chauffeur? What if you're blind and you own the car, but you have a chauffeur? And you go and use that crosstown thing, 55 times. And then after 55 times, it goes, your chauffeur goes and takes the car, and he crosses it another 50 times. And now you're over. Now you're getting tickets and fines, and you didn't do anything. There's all kinds of problems with this. And like most things governments do, it's terribly thought out, and it's impossible to implement, but they're going to give it a go. They're going to give it a go and see just how creepy it gets. And, we'll see, how the people of Oxford react to this. I couldn't tell you, but they're actually supposed to be putting gates to lock in these zones in some of the articles that I've read, that they're putting gates. So they have no intention, there's no way to implement something like this nicely. Like, no matter how it ends, the idea, the feeling that people are going to get as they have to go through these gates to get checked, so they can get tagged or whatever. Like, it's just, there's nothing cool about it. Nothing cool about this. It completely destroys anything good about the idea of having all these things 15 minutes away. So, for Americans, hey, we got the suburbs, right? We ain't worried about it. We just move to the burbs. Everyone goes there anyway. Only the young cats are still hanging in the city. They ain't tired of it yet. But, they'll learn. You get tired of it. And I grew up in it, and I can tell you, you get tired of it. So, but I just want to let you guys know all the links for the different pieces that I used to try and put this together and get an idea for what this is. They're all in the description for YouTube and Rumble. Make sure you check out our Rumble channel. So if you're going to go to one or the other, we're still trying to grow our YouTube channel. So I would tell you to ask you to go to both. Make sure you subscribe. But we are trying to aggressively now grow the Rumble channel. I kind of have been using Rumble over the last year and a half as sort of a backup server. But honestly, we've been kicked off YouTube 6 times already, all of which were on trumped up, ridiculous charges. We still don't know exactly what it is that we said. They tell you what you violate, but they don't tell you what you did to violate it, and it's not obvious. So it's like, well, what the heck, how did you interpret this? So knowing that we may just disappear one day from YouTube because we have no idea what how they interpret their own rule book, Rumble is the safe spot. So if you see us just disappear, you don't see me on anymore, and you're like, hey, whatever happened to that guy? Maybe you see an old video come up or something on Facebook or somewhere else. Oh yeah, what about this guy? I haven't seen him in a while. Rumble. That's where you go to check me out. You'll probably find a video of me wigging out and going crazy over why we got kicked off, for, I don't know, for saying something that was completely taken out of context or telling the wrong joke or doing, you get it. So anyway, check us out there. Thank you to all of our Facebook followers. Don't forget to send some stars. Buy some t-shirts at the t-shirt store. It's on our website, www.patriotthinktank.com. Until then, folks, live free.
And like that,